Hey, Nicole Huntsman here from moderncosmic.com. We have got our sun sign compatibility here on this video. Cancer Sun. So Cancer, these are our folks born from June 21st through July 22nd. Cancer is traditionally the crab. That's the animal that we've used as the symbol for Cancer. I like to think of a turtle. I think a turtle is a more apt symbol because with the turtle, yes, the Cancer does have a little bit of a crunchy outer shell, right? And they like to pull themselves in when it's time to withdraw if they're in a situation where they feel threatened. But ultimately, it's also because they kind of carry their home around on their back. Cancer types are nostalgic. They have a hard time getting rid of things, whether it's things, objects, or old lovers or old friends. They hold on to the people or the things or the thoughts, even the values that they consider important and that they have placed high on their, ladder of personal values or people that have made an impact on their heart. So with Cancer, you've got an individual who's interested in security. That's why they, with objects or money, they're good savers. A lot of times it's because they're trying to create this safe space in their life, all right? It's their womb. We associate Cancer with the home. We associate Cancer with, it's more of an introverted expression. Okay, so Cancers, a lot of times, if you had a pure Cancer, this is someone very sensitive and they are intuitive about where someone else is at emotionally, and they won't necessarily say anything. A lot of times they'll just see you and they'll notice you, and perhaps they're like sponges. They'll take things in, they'll take information in without you really maybe even knowing that they're taking it in, and then it will come back out later. They'll see you sort of repeat a pattern and they'll see, oh, okay, this person's experiencing this, and they'll come give you a hug, or they will touch you, or they will offer to make you a meal, or this is a Cancer thing. They're really sensitive to noticing these patterns in other people's emotional behavior. On the high side with Cancer, we've got someone who is sensitive to others. We've got someone who does have a strong ambition. Their desire to create security feeds their drive. It feeds their career ambitions many times. You've got someone warm and affectionate. They have a nostalgic kind of nature to them. They can be sentimental in a way, so it depends on, of course, the entire chart, but a lot of times Cancers, they're pack rats in a way, whether it's that they collect a certain okay, so for example, my mom, she's a gardener, and she plants anywhere she's lived, that she's always had these beautiful flowers and whatnot, and she kind of collects plants. She collects them and puts them around her, and makes this little plant home, and then she of course takes care of them. That's very Cancer, that hobby of hers. And then my boyfriend, for example, when he travels a lot for work. He'll keep his flight. His flight tickets or his receipts, and he'll use them in his books as little bookmarkers, and they're little mementos to remind him of the trip, and they're also something he's keeping physically around him. So that's kind of Cancer high side, but they're little pack rats in a way. But there's a nostalgic quality or sentimental nature to it. They also are really great at, as I said earlier, recognizing needs. They have this mothering instinct, this desire to make you feel better and to give you love and to take care of you. And in particular, if you're sick or if you're, just sad, emotionally having a hard time, that really pains them. They want to make you feel better. On the low side with the Cancer, they can be, because they're, like I said, there's this introverted expression of their life force. They can sometimes appear to be aloof or cold or standoffish. And they kind of are. Remember, like the crab with his little shell and his pinchers, he's like, ah. But really, a crab on the inside is mush, right? So they're protecting. They sometimes will stand back and sort of hang back, see if they're safe and secure in a situation, and then they'll interject themselves. So they have there's an introversion there of their self-expression. They can sometimes withdraw from conflict. A lot of the water signs, when there is heavy-duty fighting or a conversation that needs to happen that's not a comfortable conversation, water signs can sometimes withdraw. They check out, they back off, and they move away from the fight. Even if you have someone that's quite aggressive in other ways, they can sometimes, when their personal values are crossed, you know, like in work and things like this, they can sometimes pull back and be a little passive aggressive. So that's something that Cancers, you know, are known for. And it's almost because it's like they don't want to be hurt also, of course, but it's also they pull back from the fight a little bit, and then they have to kind of regather themselves, and then many times they'll come back. In a relationship with a Cancer, you just have to, if sometimes they do just need that time too where they're introverted and they're doing their own thing. So just let them do it, and they'll come back out. They'll turtle their heads back out. Also, they can be a little bit slow to open up. It also goes with the need for security. They can be moody, they can be broody like a broodmare, you know, kind of goes along with the motherly aspect. They have times in their life where they need to introvert, pull back, and just, you know, be to themselves so they can process things. And just let them do it, they'll come back out. So, Cancer in love. Now, Cancer is our zodiac sign that is sort of the most in flux. It's ruled by the moon, and our moon is constantly changing in our sky every couple of hours even, right? It's moving, and I mean, it's changing every second. It's moving to some degree every second. So Cancer is the same. Cancer, and because also think of the moon, how we can see one side of the moon and the other side is in total darkness. This is like the Cancer's emotional nature in a sense. There's a polarity there. There's an up and down nature to it. There are times when the Cancer just really needs to, as I said earlier, they need to be inside of themselves, okay? Now, a Cancer with a really good partner, a good partner would be someone that recognizes that and protects that in the Cancer. And my boyfriend, who's Cancer, has a quote that I love, and I'm gonna ruin it, but it's something about when you love someone, it's your job, it's your duty to protect the solitude of the partner. And that is the perfect quote for a Cancer to hold as their ideal quote about what ideal love looks like. It's your job to protect your partner's space and their feelings, and also it's your job to provide them with a little womb where they can truly open up and emotionally give you what they have to give and receive what you have to give to them. They are very deep people, and their ability to love can be overwhelming. Even for, or I should say astounding is a better word. It can be astounding because it's really strong and deep, like the ocean, which is one of Cancer's rulerships. So Cancers, their expectations in love. Cancers are interesting. So while they have that introversion need, they also really enjoy having their partner physically around them. Whether they're kind of at home or just like running errands, they like being with their partner. There is a comfort there to having that other person physically close to them. It's a grounding kind of a comfort, and it's home. It's like they're home. So at home, obviously, being with you, but then also just going out and doing things together. That's something they enjoy, because it's like taking their little home with them. Remember, they're sentimental. They like to hold on to things. And so if you're their partner that they love, then they'll want to like be with you. They'll want to have you with them. Okay. All right. Edit. So safety and security is also really important to the Cancer. They expect their partner to be loyal and to be devoted to them. And it's interesting, jealousy from a Cancer is different than you'd see from perhaps an Aries or like a fire sign like a Leo. Jealousy in all the signs is different. That would actually be a good video. That'd be an interesting video series. Jealousy in a Cancer, it comes more from hurt feelings. It's more like, I gave you all of this. I gave you all of me, and now I feel like you took advantage of that and have been focusing your directions elsewhere, you know. So they want to feel like it's safe for them to love you, and it's safe for them to accept your love in return, and that you're not going to hurt them once you're inside their little soft, mushy, you know, places. Cancer's biggest fear, you know, Cancer, they're moody, they're emotionally deep, and they sometimes go to dark places. It's really common for Cancer Suns even, you know, Cancer mood even more so. There's an emotional depth there. This is the part of them that's vulnerable, and it's the part that they may worry may be unlovable, okay? That it's too much for someone else to have to deal with, or that they're not sure they just even want you to be in there because it just feels vulnerable and scary and like they're exposed. So their fear is that that's ultimately unlovable. If course, it's completely incorrect. You know, we're all lovable. So with your Cancer, just be tender with them and make sure that they know that you appreciate the things that they do for you, and that you show them in return through your actions that you love them. Okay. Aquarius. Aquarius types are born. Let me start over again. Aquarius Sun. Aquarius Suns are born between January 18th. Let me start that over because I was wrong. Okay. Aquarius Sun Signs are born between January 20th and February 18th. With our Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is the zodiac sign that we associate with, in my mind, revolutionary sort of fringe behavior, thinking, topics, themes, etc. Aquarius is eccentric. It's a little different. This is our water bearer. And the water bearer, to me, I never really think of the symbolism of the water bearer other than the fact that it's like the star card in the tarot, which happens to do with sort of hope and for the future. Now, Aquarius is a sign that rules friendship and brotherly love and our associations that we have with our broader community. It's humanitarian efforts. It's these efforts to move us from a place as a species, as a race, that's more selfish into this place that's about offering everyone the freedoms to express as they would like to express, okay? Unity, equality, these sorts of things. So Aquarius also rules science. It rules the new age, including astrology, anything cosmic, anything that has to do with sort of these mysteries of the universe. I think of these mysteries as quite different from maybe Scorpio or 8th house or watery mysteries that have to do with the inner psyche, but this is more sort of the cosmic mysteries and what our place is and what our role is. So with an Aquarius, you have an individual who, as a personality type, you tend to see as someone sort of eccentric. They have a freak flag. They usually are a little bit different or odd, and they won't mind being called weird or eccentric. Like, they'll appreciate that you see that they're unique. They really strive to live their life in a way that they feel is their own authentic version of what they think life is. Aquarius also is a fixed sign, so there is a stubbornness, even though this is an air sign and it has to do with freedom and it has to do with, it's ruled by Uranus, which gives it this, this sort of on-again, off-again quality. It's also traditionally was ruled by Saturn as well. So these two rulers, it's interesting, neither are emotional sort of rulers. Both of them I think of as detached and a little bit colder in the sense that they're impartial. So a lot of times people who have strong Aquarius, Uranian, or Capricorn, or Saturn, those four energies strongly noted in their chart, they'll have a sarcasm to them. They'll have a cynicism to them. It's this interesting place where their understanding of the realities of life, which would be sort of that Saturnian energy, mixed with an Aquarius at least, their ability to see the possibilities, the contradiction there, makes them a little sarcastic, and also there's a strong element of genius that we've applied to Aquarius Mercuries, or someone who's got a lot of Uranian energy in their 3rd house, or 11th house, 3rd house connections, Mercury. Anyway, they'll have a genius to them. Their mind will be quick. They will seem as though they received cosmic downloads, and perhaps they do. Who says they don't? I don't know. And there's just this, the way that they think that was a little different. It's a little fringe, a little weird relative to the norm. They're not normals, okay? I love Aquarius. They're one of my favorite signs. High functioning Aquarius, you've got someone who is unique, unorthodox. They do things in a way that other people maybe haven't thought of doing them yet. They have this thing where they really care about people. They're great friends. Many Aquariuses have a lot of friendly associations with a lot of different people. They're very social, and they need to have those connections with many different people, all right, and many times of the opposite gender or of the gender that they're attracted to sexually. But they need to know that their partner knows that they're loyal, that they're not. They need to be free to have these associations, and it's an important part of who they are. With an Aquarius, you've got also, it's an air sign, so they're logical and they're thinkers, and they also have an energy about them because it's Uranian. Uranus's energy is a little nervous, and they can worry about things, and their heads can even be a little ADD, a little spastic in their thinking process. I say that with love. I have Uranus in my 3rd house, but it's on again, off again quality, because that's Aquarius energy. It's very like here and then there and then everywhere. So on to our shadow side, our low functioning, Aquarius traits. You do have a flakiness that can happen with Aquarius. you can have, they're just not earthy grounded the way that a Capricorn or a Virgo might be, or a Taurus. It's just, they're just different. You know, they, doesn't mean they won't show up for people that they care about, because these are our most sort of humanitarian types. They'd be really good at sort of spreading the message and getting a bunch of people there. And, you know, they're going to be good at the part that they're good at, which has to do with the communication and the actual, maybe perhaps creation of the entity, and then letting other people actually do the in-person work. They're the idea person. Also, you've got a fixed sign. So you've got someone who's determined. They can be stubborn. They can be so determined to a fault. They can leave situations and be non-committal with their relationships in the same way Gemini can, because they're not naturally, again, a super emotionally connected on their own insides type of a person, because they spend so much of their energy up in this part of themselves, up in their head and their, you know, throat chakra and whatnot, third eye and all that good stuff. This part of them is less connected, unless they have, again, moon, perhaps a moon that's in a water replacement, or some other things that would indicate that they're connected down here emotionally. But the way they operate on the outside is going to be pretty detached and a little sarcastic and a little funny and a little, like, they'll say things that are inappropriate, but they just have a Aquarius vibe about them that's pretty great, or groovy. What else? They're freedom loving, and so on the high side they give that freedom, but on the shadow side sometimes if they feel like they're not being given freedom, they can rebel, and they can be the type that wander. They have to prove to themselves and sort of to the universe that they still are free, that they still have that universal right that's been granted to them, that they can spread themselves around a little, you know. So that's the shadow side. Also, they can be a little critical. They can be a little, that sarcasm can move into the realm of being kind of mean, critical language. Okay, Aquarius in love, they're naturally friendly, sociable types. That's what they're here for. They're here to socialize. So typically they have a lot of friends of both genders. And again, they're going to have friends that might be the same gender that they're attracted to. So as a partner of an Aquarius, you have to understand that there's a big difference between platonic and romantic. Aquariuses love platonic relationships, and they have a lot of them, and they need them. And if you try to take that from them, you are stripping away one of the most basic parts of who they are, and good luck with getting them to stay, because they're not going to. They're going to be gone. Aquarius do not like, they have a fear of commitment. So if you're in any way, shape, or form emotionally overwhelming them, or trapping them, or holding them down, preventing them from doing the thing they're here to do, then they will leave, right? Okay. Oh, also Aquarius, they have a flirtatious, cerebral quality to them, and they like a relationship that has a lot of communication. They like little sexy flirting text messages and, you know, letters and wittiness and banter, and someone who can teach them things. That's really attractive to an Aquarius. Someone who can debate with them about a topic that's close to their heart, or their pet topic. And a lot of times the Aquarius, we see people strong Aquarius, they're kind of nerdy. They have like a geekiness to them that's really appealing. So if you have that as well, that's probably going to be quite attractive to an Aquarius. These would be our sapiosexuals, you know, that are attracted to the mind, someone who has a powerful intellect. That will be very sexy to an Aquarius. So Aquarius expectations in love, I kind of mentioned this already, but it is loyalty from the partner from an intellectual place. So they would expect your understanding of who they are and what they're here to do, which is to make many social contacts, to test the edges and the limits of social norm. That's why we consider them our iconoclasts, and they're our rebels, and they're our eccentrics and the freak flag flyers. Okay, they need to be able to do all these things because that's who they are. So they will be loyal to a partner who understands that about them. They would expect in return, they will give you complete freedom, and they expect that in return. It's just not a non-negotiable issue for a true Aquarius. If they can't do a partner that's clingy, that emotionally needs to be validated by them, that partner will be sorely disappointed. The Aquarius just kind of, even if they know how to emotionally validate you or to be really sensitive to your emotional needs, the logical part of them will kind of step in and just be like, yeah, but you shouldn't really be so emotional about that, or that doesn't make sense to me, why you're making such a big deal out of this, or they'll even just have this attitude too, like, why do you care what someone thinks about you? You know, you shouldn't be upset about that, just who cares? They just don't, they themselves don't go to these really deep dark places typically, so they don't really understand why you need to and why you need to pull them in there. It doesn't make sense to them. Again, unless you've got someone who's got a watery moon, or a moon that's in a water house, then that's going to make this person more sensitive. But Aquarius can be a little insensitive. They do well with other thinkers and other air signs and fire signs. Aquarius's biggest fear would be if they're here to express their freedom of expression, the fear would be having that taken from them, feeling like they had to play a role, pretend to be somebody that they're not, keep it in the closet, etc. That would be very uncomfortable for an Aquarius, and any partnership that required that would not last long with an Aquarius. They have an on-again, off-again quality to them where they are flaky too. They can be. And it depends on where it falls. It can affect their flakiness towards deciding on a career, or it can affect the way in partnership that if it's in their fifth house, maybe they have like multiple partners, and it just depends on how. But there is an on again, off again quality. There's a lack of commitment in some part of their life. Where that sun falls, there can be a lack of commitment in that area. So it's something that they know this about themselves, and they don't appreciate it about themselves always either. And they really will not appreciate being told that they're behaving in this way, because they already know. You better believe they already know. So their fear is, accept them for who they are. Their fear is when they're not being accepted for who they are. Cancer and Aquarius, very different people, all right? We've got, I'm going to speak to this from, in my mind, I'm thinking of a Cancer female and Aquarius male, all right? Cancer female, Cancer in general, they need security. They want to know what to expect in relationships. They're about emotion and going deep. They are about nurturing. There is a quality to Cancer with all the water signs, actually, where they want to merge a little bit with the partner, and it can feel like a little bit too close, a little bit claustrophobic for some of the air signs. Can feel clingy even to someone that would be like an Aquarius. Aquarius is about multiple social connections. They have this eccentricity to them, but they're socially oriented individuals, and they keep things kind of more in the headspace. They like to have a lot of different friendships, a lot of different types of people, and Cancer can feel a little insecure about this. But initially the attraction could be, this again, sort of an opposites attract, or their differences could look attractive to one another. Okay, long-term interaction between these two. I don't really see a long-term relationship happening between a pure Aquarius and a pure Cancer, at least not a harmonious, happy one. Neither needs are being met. So that being said, if you've got if you've got an Aquarius with a watery moon, or a moon that's in a water house, or even a sun in a water house, okay, or even some earthiness there, it's going to give them more of a tendency to express emotionally, or to move into spaces that are emotive. If he's got his moon in an earthy sign like Capricorn, then he's going to be this always creates kind of a cynical personality type. Aquarius and Capricorn together, it's the skeptic, and it's very practical. And Capricorn's great with Cancer because it gives some structure, but Aquarius Capricorn mix, I don't know, I'm going off on a tangent, but I'd like to see the Aquarius have a little water, okay, some water in their chart, and the Cancer to have some air in their chart, so that you can have a Cancer who is Cancer Sun and everything else is air, or they've got all air placements, and they can be pretty free-spirited. This can be someone, like I was saying in another video, how I read for, I'm the astrologer of a madam of a brothel, and she said her very best girls are Cancers, and that's the majority of her girls are Cancers and Pisces. So with Cancer, there is this ability to have relationship in a way that's detached, which is what Aquarius needs. But this Cancer takes a certain type of Cancer. They need to be a Cancer who's got water. Who's got earth. My brain. There's air. So, this is going to be someone who's got a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius moon, or in one of those houses, someone who's got their moon in one of the air houses. Or even, you can even run into a Cancer who's got a lot of Pisces or Neptunian energy. Neptunian, I should say, not energy, but aspects in their birth chart. They're more willing to just kind of sublimate their own needs for the partner. And if they've got an Aquarius can be a little bit selfish. Uranian types can be focused on personal freedom, and so it's kind of about what they want, and they don't always take into account what the partner wants emotionally. They don't think that way, so they don't. You know what I mean? So they're not going to project it onto the partner. They just figure, if you want something, you just can go ahead and go do it. So that could work with that combination. Okay. Specific areas of conflict, you've got Cancer, keyword security, Aquarius, keyword freedom. So therein lies the conflict. Cancer wants to consolidate things and make them feel safe, and Cancer tends to be the type that they're can be a little hard on themselves, and they can withdraw from situations emotionally and just kind of go to this place of, well, I'm not lovable anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then, of course, Aquarius will be like, what are you talking about, and where are you coming from? And I'm so confused right now because, Aquarius wants to keep things light and have this easy back and forth, this cerebral, this playful, flirtatious back and forth with the partner. And Cancer can take some things a little too seriously, and then Aquarius gets confused because they operate differently. All right, so that can be a conflict. As far as harmony goes, this is one of those like growth learning relationships. Again, this is just pure Aquarius, pure Cancer. We're not looking at anything else in the mix. Cancer is going to teach Aquarius about deeper emotion, and Aquarius is going to teach Cancer about letting go and flying the freak flag a little bit, getting out of your comfort zone, being in a place that's unsafe, and that really you're safe wherever you are. That's all up to you. So this could be a good learning arrangement. How others might see this mix, they could see these two as kind of a bizarre fit, kind of an odd couple. You've got, as I said, you've got someone who's emotional and focused on keeping things safe and secure, and someone who is kind of about the opposite, trying things they've never tried before, and being a little bit on the fringe and doing things in an unorthodox way that shakes things up. So people can see this coupling as a little bit interesting, and they'll watch the couple and be curious about what happens next, because it should be fairly dramatic in a sense. Dramatic's not the word. It should just have some ups and downs, some ebbs and some flows for sure. A little bit erratic. Well, thanks for watching. If you have questions, post them below. Let me know if you're in a relationship. If you're Cancer Aquarius relationship, let me know what it's been like for you. I always like to add to my personal kind of arsenal of imagery relative to the way we combine zodiac signs. So have a great day and see you soon. Bye.